Good evening, parents and RISD community, and welcome to tonight's Parent University. We are so glad that you have decided that you care about financial literacy and RISD's path forward with financial literacy, and we are absolutely excited about the guest we have with us today. If you are joining us and you need the Spanish version, we do have the option for you to move into the Spanish room where you will meet Maria Etherton. She is there waiting on you, and she will be the Spanish translator this evening.
Busque el icono del globo en la esquina inferior izquierda de la pantalla. Haga clic en el globo y seleccione español de la lista de opciones. Donde dice Balance, mueva el control deslizante completamente hacia el lado del intérprete para asegurarse que escuche la interpretación en español. Buenas tardes y gracias por acompañarnos.
So Alejandra, we'll take about 30 seconds and give the parents time to transition to the room, and then we'll move to the norms in about 30 seconds.
Como les dijimos, busque el icono del globo en la esquina inferior izquierda de la pantalla. Haga clic en el globo y seleccione español de la lista de opciones. Donde dice Balance, mueva el control deslizante completamente hacia el lado del intérprete para asegurarse de que puede escuchar la interpretación en español. Muchas gracias.
Okay, and so we're going to move on to our norms for tonight. We are actually not touching on anything too hard or too heavy tonight. We're dealing with financial literacy and the plan forward with financial literacy in the district. So remember just to be present and welcoming. The chat is always open if you'd like to insert thoughts and questions into the chat. Listen deeply to learn. When things get difficult, turn to wonder, and then manage your impact on the room. I'd like to introduce to you this evening our special guest, straight from the branch over at Berkner High School. We have Michael Herrera, who is the branch manager of the Credit Union of Texas at Berkner. And so he is here to share all of the wonderful things that he, along with the Berkner students who actually help to lead the branch over there, are doing. And so, Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everyone to this evening. I'm very excited to go through some things with everyone today. Hopefully we leave with a better understanding of than where we started this evening. So before we do get started though, I wanted to showcase two of my branch managers that are students here at Berkner High School. And so we do have one of them on the call that could attend. Miss Marlette Guerrero Llamas, she's here. So Miss Marlette, if you come off mute real quick and if you want to introduce yourself to everyone.
Yes. Hi, my name is Marlette Guerrero. I'm a second-year intern at the Berkner Smart Branch, and I am one of the student managers. And I'm super excited to be here at the Parent University to talk about financial literacy. Today, we're going to go through some slides that cover budgeting, saving, and understanding credit. I'm looking forward to sharing some tips and that can help you and your kids feel more confident about managing money. And if you have any questions throughout the slides, please let me or Michael know and we'll be able to answer them.
Thank you so much. So with no further ado, let's get going. Want to watch and learn a little bit about what the Smart Branch is and how it is impacting Richardson ISD.
The Smart Branch is so much more than just a bank. It's a center of hope for students who may have not realized what was possible for them. I often use the term when we think about a real space like this that it's game changing, and what I've seen is it's life changing. And I have met with the students and I've talked with the students, and they are talking about their future differently as a result of this experience. And there's nothing else as a superintendent, as an educational leader, that I could hope for.
The number one goal is to make the students here at Berkner High School the first financial literate high school in Dallas County. The Smart Branch is a work-school partnership, so it gives the opportunity for students to come in and gain real-life financial experience through working in a credit union. Now, on the hindsight of that, and this is probably the most important thing I would say, is it allows these students to learn financial literacy.
My time here at the Smart Branch was more of like a reality shock to me. I feel like it'll prepare me more because I have more like real world skills and like on hands experience with like the industry. So that's how I think it'll help me. It's just one like step ahead of the game.
I thank the Credit Union of Texas for allowing us to have the main branch for Richardson inside Berkner High School. I know that they could have chosen any school in the Metroplex. They could have chosen any other school in RISD, but they chose Berkner. And I'm really grateful for that because it gives my students an opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed.
If only I could bring every other business and every other partner that we have to this space to see it's different than just trying to recreate the curriculum in the four walls of a classroom. It takes a space in which students can actually practice those skills and they can apply those skills, and they gain fluency of skills that they can now use them with automaticity. They don't have to think about it anymore. They're in practice now. And that, whether or not they choose to forever go into banking or not, these are skills that are going to carry with them in anywhere they go. And that, again, that's life-changing. Like I'm so passionate about this. Y'all are amazing.
Oh, sorry, let's get back over here. So thank you guys. Wanted to kind of give you a little bit about what the Credit Union of Texas has built here in Richardson ISD and Berkner High School. And so with us being here at Berkner over the last 2 school years now, there's a lot of different things and initiatives that we're working with the entire district. And that's, again, we'll go into a lot of those today and share how we can get that. And so wanted to kind of speak about our intended outcomes for this evening. So number one, understand how the Credit Union of Texas is helping students make sound financial decisions. And when we say sound decisions, we want the students, when they're going to Chick-fil-A or going to the mall, go shopping, or even out to the movies or arcades with their friends, before they do that debit card swipe or before they even answer that text message yes, we want them to understand what's the financial impact behind that. And should I be doing this? Should I make this decision? Or maybe I should stay home today, or let's see what mom and dad have for dinner instead of me jumping in that Chick-fil-A line after school, or asking for Chick-fil-A on the way home. I have 3 younger ones myself, and sometimes dad's notorious when I do get to pick them up for that easy Chick-fil-A line. And so again, having a more sound understanding from that piece. How to empower students with real world financial skills and implementation. And so again, now that we understand the consequences or the understanding of different financial settings and how they impact us, how do we put that into those skills and into real life? And how do we continue to move forward from our standpoint, all the way from kindergarten through 12th grade? I believe this is something that each grade level can benefit from. And then lastly, understand how various financial products and services that Credit Union Texas has to offer here for the district and for Richardson ISD, to have these behaviors then become common skills in the real world. So why financial literacy? Why does it matter? You know, we all hear this concept, this word, financial literacy. There's a lot of commercials or a lot of companies out there that tab this phrase, you know, financial literacy. But what does it actually mean? Why does it matter? And so let's kind of give you the landscape for our great state of Texas, right? I'm a Texan born and raised, and so nationally, there are only 25 states that require at least one semester of financial education to graduate from high school. Um, Texas is not one of the 25 states that require that. Texas is one of the many states here in the United States that do not require for a high school graduate profile to graduate taking any type of financial education course. And so when Richardson ISD came to partner with Credit Union Texas, that was one of the things that we wanted to help establish here in the district is how can we create financial education for all grade levels, especially since it's not currently a requirement. Another stat there is Texas students have accumulated over $127 billion in student debt. So that averages roughly around $33,400 per student. And so for a lot of high school seniors that are going to be graduating here in a few weeks, accumulation of debt, not only from a school debt level, from a loan level, which can pile on quite fast. And parents, I think some of y'all may be coming under that realization in a few years or maybe even this year of the colleges continue to get expensive, or even if it's not college, trade school, what does that look like? Any type of landscape, or what we go through a lot, we talk through teens a lot here is, and parents that have questions is, my first car, what does that look like? How do I get off from paying a high rate on my car without being financially in debt forever? And so making, again, those sound decisions and stuff when those opportunities come is what we're really looking to combat with on a daily here. So let's talk about some of the consequences of not understanding financial concepts and not having a good understanding of what financial literacy means holistically. So poor credit scores can result in high interest debts, and then again, limited access to various financial services. Maybe from home lending or other things. High rates on your auto again can lead, and that's just maybe from bad decisions that were made for not even knowing, right? Or lack of knowing, not even necessarily bad decisions. More, I would say, lack of knowledge. Second one, poor financial habits that lead to poor decisions can increase debts above your income range. And so a lot of people have that appetite of, I want the fancy car, I want the nice Corvette, I want the big house, right? But maybe at the time in their life, their income doesn't match that, right? So again, level setting and having our kids understand that now will better help them when they make those big time purchases in their life later on. And so the example I use, my son plays baseball, and he's like, Dad, man, here are the new cleats out here. I want the new cleats and the new bat and the new glove for the season. And I take a look at him. I said, son, and mind you, my son's 8 years old, and I said, we just bought this stuff in the fall. We can stretch this a little further. And then so having those concepts of understanding, yeah, your foot's getting bigger, so we do need cleats. Now, we don't need the most expensive one on the menu. Cleats are cleats, and they're going to serve a purpose. We want to make sure they're comfortable and so on and so forth for him. But having those conversations early on is as simple as finding cleats for your child for their sporting event, or different clothes for different settings. We don't have to have all designer things and whatnot to still look very nice and sharp. And then lastly, being financially literate can lead to better habits in budgeting, increased purchase power. So when it is time to make that home purchase, well, we have money saved up, we have a good credit score, we have a stable income. Well, now we can buy more house than maybe we were initially thinking because we've set ourselves up for long time success. And so again, that starts early or in early age. To be able to achieve those results. So now let's talk about our partnership with Richardson ISD. So the collaboration started prior to 2023, but that's when it actually became real. The Smart Branch here that's housed at Berkner High School opened in fall of 2023 and is still open today. Now we are open to the public here, and we service all of Richardson ISD. I know that's a common misconception because we're in Berkner High School, we only help Berkner students or the Berkner learning community. That is incorrect. We are here and house for every person in Richardson ISD, staff member and student and family member. That's one thing that we'll talk about some of the benefits of Richardson ISD here shortly. But we're housed here at Berkner, but we're for the entire district. So a common goal of ours is to create the first financial literate school district in the state of Texas. And so again, if you reference back to the couple previous slides ago, financial education is not a requirement to graduate high school. Richardson ISD takes that very, very important of let's educate our students, let's provide them with as many resources and information to expose them to different financial concepts. That way, maybe they're all not buying their first car in high school. Maybe some of them don't get that opportunity until their mid to late 20s. Well, let's create those behaviors so when that time does come to fruition for each individual student in Richardson ISD, it will become a sound purchase and a good experience for them. So community engagement is huge, and so the Credit Union Texas loves to partner and help. So in any chance we get, and so the entire district is able to reach out to us and for us to assist on various events. Y'all may have seen the big old giant food truck that we have at a couple of events. We like to feed and provide food at different events. But we have a specific community engagement specialist that is solely assigned to Richardson ISD to help support any of the schools or staff members that maybe perhaps have an event. And so we utilize these events and these different various pieces to help connect with different schools and organizations to help provide what we've been talking about today, the financial literacy concept to the students, and give them different concepts to think about, so on and so forth. So let's talk about our in-school financial literacy. How are we actually making this happen at this point? How is the Berkner Smart Branch making an impact in Richardson ISD? And so with that, so we've implemented various student-led presentations, and that's one reason we have my student branch manager Marlette on the call today to go over here in a little bit some of the things that she's learned and now then facilitates to various children here in the school district. So we've had these presentations over the past 2 years at high schools in the district, middle schools, elementary students. One of the big pushes this year was in our elementary feeder pattern. It was a very big initiative of the district that we wanted to accomplish this year. We have started that testing going through with all of the third grade students in the Berkner feeder pattern this year for the initial year of us doing this. And I'll go over some of those stats here in a minute with that, but for years moving forward next year, we look to implement that into the other feeder patterns as well, because it has really taken off. And so the curriculum, how do we decide what are we teaching our students? What are we going through? The curriculum is aligned with their TEKS. Each specific grade level has a certain set of topics that they have to go through if you're not familiar with the TEKS. We then pull those topics with what their teachers in their specific schools are going over. From that point, we then reinforce and help build those financial literacy concepts. And we'll go over kind of some of the nuances there for there. And then beyond Berkner. So again, the main goal for the Smart Branch here next year for the 2025-2026 is spread financial literacy across the entire district of Richardson ISD. We've done a great job here at Berkner and we've been at Richardson High School, but there are also the Lake Highlands Learning Community and the J.J. Pierce Learning Communities that we want to impact consistently moving forward. So that's the plan with Credit Union Texas and Richardson ISD. So student engagement activities. So what do these financial literacy presentations look like? How, are they boring? Kids these days are hard to entertain. It's very fun and very challenging at times for us as we brainstorm, myself and my students that we have here in the branch of how are we going to engage, right? Financial literacy is not fun. A lot of these students, may not even have had their first job yet, or when we're working with the younger children, right? The concept of a quarter is fascinating to some of them. So how do we make it fun and interactive for them. And so we've tried to gamify it. The biggest piece and feedback from students that we receive that go through these different presentations is engagement, right? They just don't want to hear a lecture. They don't want to be talked to, right? Parents on the call, I know when you're talking to your kids, you can see really quick when it just starts tuning out for them. And so we don't want that tuning out to ever take place. So we leverage a lot of different financial literacy games where they got to get up out of their chair, or maybe we do even have a board game for the younger ones to work through and play at different points in time throughout the presentations. We want student engagement because that's going to drive, again, that real life implementation and understanding of certain topics as we go through them. So the real world aspect of this, and so is the actual Smart Branch physically here. And so at Berkner, the interns not only assist with our various school presentations and seminars that we have, but also throughout the community. And so the branch is open to the public during school hours, where they then get a lot of real life concepts there. They take those real life concepts and they learn through by dealing with members from a customer service perspective and things of that nature, and turn around and leverage that in their conversations, in their behaviors. And you really see those concepts when we put them on display when they're at these district events or at the various different schools. So some of the continued real world applications. So I had mentioned our third grade initiative for this year. So far, out of all the Berkner third grade learning community, we have reached 444 third graders, and that was from February through April of this year of 2025. Now, the first week of May, we will have the first full week of May, I should say. The whole week we'll have third graders in here from the remaining schools that are scheduled to come. And that accumulates roughly to around 243 additional third graders that will visit us here coming up. And so to say that we have a little over 600 third graders being exposed to financial literacy concepts. Now, these specific concepts that they're working through is regarding income and then also loan. And so we have them understanding, okay, hey, I got paid today. What does that look like? What are things that come up? Well, there's bills, there's food, there's groceries, there's travel. Oh, wait, I owe my friend some money, so we have to pay that back. And so we have an exercise that we work with them to understand those concepts. Again, for third graders, we don't go super high level and letting them know the pros and cons of budgeting and so forth. But again, introducing these concepts to them to where they can put it into real life play is how we've been working with our third graders. And then on top of that, the third graders do get a real life tour of the branch, which has been very fun. So they get to see how the money is circulated and counted, and I've even got a couple comments that we make the money here at the branch, which is not true. We've had to debunk that, but again, those questions that we're receiving from our third graders here in the district, they have definitely exceeded my expectations. So shout out to all the third graders in the district. So now I'm going to pass this over to Miss Marlette. Marlette, if you want to come off mute, the floor is yours.
So now I'm going to talk about budgeting habits. I think it's very important to know exactly how much you're making and spending each month, especially with our generation. I think our generation lacks a lot of financial literacy. But the main thing with our generation, I think nobody really taught us how to be financial literate or do these financial habits. That's why we have really bad financial habits, because growing up, me personally, my parents never really told me like, hey, this is like some stuff that you need to spend on, these are some stuff that you need to save on. Like, they never really taught me the concept of budgeting. And that's what we want to do here at Berkner. We want to teach kids the concept of budgeting. Why is it important? Why is it important to put some money aside for saving? And why is it important to put some money aside for your needs and sometimes not spending all of your money in your wants, because that can create bad financial habits. I think as parents, it would be great if y'all can start teaching your kids setting limits on how you spend in different categories like food, transportation, fun, and not to overspend whenever you get paid or whenever you get your allowance. Michael, could you go to the next slide for me, please? Now I'm going to talk about saving and investing early. I mean, the earlier you start saving and investing, the more money you can make with compound. Um, your money is gonna earn more money over time. And parents, if you start saving up early for your kids, you can start your plan for college for your kids. Me, I'm gonna use an example again as myself. My parents didn't save enough money for college for me. So now it's up to me to find those other ways to pay for college with scholarships. I mean, I had to buy my own car, so I had to save up my own money to buy my own car. But it's because my parents never saved up any money for me. And I think the earlier you start with your kids, or the earlier you teach your kids, hey, like if I'm giving you allowance, maybe you should put $5. If I'm giving you $20, maybe you should put $5 in your piggy bank. That can help them build those good habits for the future. Could you go to the next slide, Michael? Understanding credit is really important because it affects you like in the future for your kids, like especially seniors at high school is gonna really affect us because we're gonna have to get, well, some of us, or because college is very expensive, and if your parent didn't save money for you or you don't have enough scholarships, you might have to get student loans. And credit is really important, whether it can help you get a loan, rent apartment, buy a house, or buy a car. If you don't have enough money to pay for your car, you can get car loan, but your credit's always obviously gonna take a big job into helping you buy your car. And could you go to the next slide, Michael? Avoiding common pitfalls. Young adults often face financial challenges as they begin managing their own money. Some frequent missteps include overspending. It's easy to spend more than what you earn, especially with the temptation. Nowadays, social media, online shopping, Shein, Temu, TikTok Shop. Us as teenagers, I mean, we see things in social media and we just want to spend, spend, and spend. So overspending can definitely be a common pitfall. And another one is neglecting to save up money. Without setting aside money for savings, unexpected expenses can become like crisis. Like I didn't expect my car to break down, so I didn't have enough money to fix my car. So I wasn't saving up for anything but for college, and then my car broke down and I didn't have enough funds, so I had to put that aside on my budget. Building emergency funds and setting spending limits. You can start small and aim to save a small amount regularly, such as $20 per week, and you can start building up your emergency fund over time. And I think it's really important the role of parents in financial education. You can share your personal experiences, discuss your financial like successes and mistakes to provide real life lessons to your kids. You can tell them what you did and what you did wrong so they don't do it in the future. And that's it for me for this slide on avoiding common pitfalls.
Let me add one more thing in there. That last one, well put, Marlette. Parents, it's not just the successes. I think we as parents like to let's get the wins because sometimes we don't have a lot of them. Like I said, I have three young ones at home, so I tell my wife all the time, "Hey, let me have my moment, let me shine, give me my flowers." Um, but what I've learned is the opportunities to grow, even in our times where maybe we didn't go the way we wanted. And so I think our children having an understanding when it comes to financial concepts or financial pieces of, hey, this is why we're not going out this weekend because we're saving up for, a few weeks or summer's coming up or you guys really want to go on vacation? we're gonna skip out on our weekly eating out, and we're gonna put that money towards our vacation so we can have more fun, right? And so those simple conversations where not necessarily they're seeing the cash exchange or numbers on a spreadsheet for some of the older kids, but just hearing those pieces of why and having the intentional action of where are these things going and why, what is the purpose behind it. Those behaviors in talking to our children will result in those positive impacts and behaviors that we want to see when again they're presented with those financial concepts. So just wanted to add that piece in there. And then let's get to the next one. Marlette, you want to take this one?
Yes. So these are the memberships that we have here at the Credit Union of Texas. So we have our student savings account that's no monthly service fee until the age of 26. And we also have a student checking account. Our savings account comes with a checking account. And there's also no monthly service fee until the age of 26. And we also have our Save the Change account. When you use your CUTX debit card, each purchase rounds up to the next dollar, and the extra money goes into your own personalized Save the Change account. Once you save $240, we will deposit $120 as a reward. We also have our pay for grades. So it goes through grades 6 through 12, and we pay for grades every semester. Every A is $25 and every B is $5, so you can end up earning $125 per semester. And we also have our annual Credit Union of Texas Scholarship. Scholarship is open to high school seniors, current college students, and members who want to pursue their further education. It's $2,500 if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you're correct. And so parents, a lot of these products and services are what we offer to Richardson ISD students and family members. And so some big ones, the pay for grades is huge, especially when we want our kids to perform in the classroom, right? My young ones aren't quite to the pay for grades piece right now. My young ones have a savings account with us. And so one thing that we left off was the checking account age. For your student to get a checking account, they do need to be at least 12 years old. 12-year-old is the starting age for checking account. However, the student savings account, you can start them on when they're born. They just need to have their social security number. Obviously, they're not going to have an ID. So as parents, you would be on all these accounts as a joint owner for these accounts. But my three little ones all have savings accounts with us, and how we leverage, again, remember, we want to be intentional with our actions here. And so what we do when my three kiddos get money from any point, and it's become quite a task now. Sometimes I gotta reel them in. We're at the restaurant and I see one of them on the floor because they saw a quarter, but they grab those, and then the next conversation I already know is coming is, "Hey, Dad, can we go to the credit union? I want to deposit this into my account," which I love to hear. Sometimes it's on a Sunday when we're closed, but I love to hear that from them now because we've built those behaviors of my money's safe in my account. They have piggy banks at home, so they know that's a placeholder, but they want to see that account. They always ask me, "Hey, Dad, can you pull up my account? How much money do I have?" And now it's almost become a competition of sorts with between my oldest two of, "Oh, I'm almost got as much money as her," or he's not catching me. And so we try to have fun with this now. When they do come into the branch, we send them up to the teller line by themselves and ask and tell them, "Hey, tell the teller, what do you need? I need to make a deposit today." And so again, building behaviors, and I can't stress enough, especially with the no service fee, these are ample opportunities for you as parents to put those behaviors into real life situations with your children. The scholarship is huge, even for some of the older families with some older kids that may have graduated out of Richardson ISD. If they are currently still pursuing further education, higher education, or even trade school, if they are members of the credit union, they can still apply for that scholarship. So it's a lot of people think it's only high school seniors. No. Or even some parents, if y'all are back in school, if you're a member of the credit union, this is something that is available to you. So we really want you guys to take advantage, especially here in Richardson ISD, because we cater to you guys. So a lot of these products and services are available for you. So let's how can we go here? How can we get involved as parents, right? So again, we've been talking about this a little bit more. Model good financial behavior for your student, right? We're not perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect. Mistakes are going to be made. Just the other day, I forgot to budget for something, and my wife was asking me, "Hey, where's this at?" I said, "Whoa, well, we're gonna have to pull that out because I miscalculated." And so those things are going to happen. I have 3 kids. We're always on the go. I even have 23 more kids here at Berkner that I'm in charge of daily. And so I like to say we're a family of 28 sometimes. And so these things get convoluted. I get it. But those behaviors really will go a long way for your students. Open communication. So let's advocate for discussions on a regular basis about money and financial decisions with our family. Let's include our students on financial decisions. Again, like I said, hey, we're not going to go to dinner this week because we're trying to save up more for our family vacation here coming up in a month, 2 months from now. And so giving them that why a decision was made goes a long way. Let's also work on creating different family fun activities, right? Make, if you see a benefit in opening an account with us, make that a summer activity. Have your students, bring your children up to one of the branches, even our branch here, to come and open an account. Have them sit down with the banker, and the banker will talk to them here, and let them know what's going on and how it can help them. It's a really great thing when your children can take the ownership in that piece of it, right? Maybe creating a household budget. We use big old pieces of construction paper and give the kids markers each month and have them color their section. So whether it's dues for their sporting team or their dance class or any various activities that they're in, though that's your bill, color it. Now they're not physically paying the bill, but they understand that there's a cost associated with something that they're doing and why, again, we have to pay those things. So again, that can go hand in hand with the communication and creating that behavior. Do we have any comments or questions right now before we move on to the last slide?
Not seeing anyone right now, Michael.
Okay, give it a few more seconds, see if anybody has anything. Nothing yet?
Nothing yet, sir.
Okay, that's fine. We'll keep it moving. You'll have some times through, but want to kind of leave you guys with some optimistic closure here. And so what we came up with here is every dollar tells a story. Let's help our kids write a good one. So as parents, you're already your child's first teacher, their first coach, and their biggest cheerleader. By talking about saving, budgeting, and opening a student account, you're planting seeds that will grow into lifelong habits. Remember, we're just not teaching numbers here. We're teaching values. We're not just building bank accounts, accumulating bank accounts. We're building confidence and a purpose there. And so lastly, we want to leave you with, what is one small money habit that you can start with your child this week that will help them tell a strong financial story in their future? I gave y'all a few examples. Hopefully you can use some of those, or if y'all have some new ones. Like I said, I have 3 small ones at home, so I would love any feedback. It takes a village, I always tell everyone. So I'm always open to different ideas and strategies to help them grow. So we'll stay on this slide for 1 more minute, and then I'm going to pass along all of our contact information to let y'all know how we can get going. Sorry, my light keeps turning off. There we go.
Well, Michael, I definitely learned from Marlette that I need to get my son off of Temu and Shein. And listen, I didn't even know about the TikTok shop. All of a sudden, these boxes started arriving from the TikTok shop, and I'm like, "What is this?" Who knew that they have a whole store, right? And so, I mean, they are just finding more and more creative ways to market, to young people, and they're buying it, because I'm telling you, box after box is the TikTok shop.
TikTok.
I'm guilty as charged. I'm one of them.
TikTok shop makes the occasional appearance more than Amazon in my house lately, and I tell my wife, I was like, "What? We might have to delete TikTok off your phone now."
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is my challenge to myself to really have a good conversation with him about saving because it's not something, and he's in his freshman year of college. And so we don't often talk about, just the value of saving. And so I feel like this is a great opportunity for me to have that conversation with him.
Awesome. You have to let me know how that one goes.
I I feel like I feel like I haven't waited too late. Maybe we can turn some things around.
Oh no, you said freshman again. See, he's starting all over again. He might not have known that until mid-year this year, but he's getting that young
Right,
adult in him.
right. But that's definitely, I love that the students are learning so much. I love that we are challenging parents to become comfortable with talking to their children about financial literacy and money matters because for so long in our different communities, it's kind of taboo to talk about money and all the things. And so it's not something that comes up often in some communities. And so I do like that we are trying to break that stigma as well, and that the younger the better when we begin to talk to students about money and financial literacy.
Every student I talk to here at Richardson ISD, I give them one thing. I tell them, "Hey guys, I got to make sure you understand what you're doing and how you understand money, because when I'm old, you're going to be taking care of me. You're going to be
Right.
telling me what to do with my money. So I need to make sure you know what you're doing."
Right. I love it. Well, I think that we can move on to the information.
Awesome. And so, guys, contact information wise, could always reach out to your school principal. Everyone has my contact information here in the district, so they can reach out to me directly if they have any questions, or maybe you want to book for your school a community event that leverages our community team. We can definitely help get you that set up as well. You can reach out directly to the Berkner Smart Branch. We have our own email, our own telephone number, where our interns or even our banker on staff or myself can help assist any questions, comments that you guys have, or directly to me. There's my email and my cell phone number there. So feel free to leverage any one of those contact points with us at any point, and we'd love to help assist you and your child in their journey.
And I love your last thought there. The future is bright and financially smart because of you. And so I think that's a good little tagline to go out on. Again, the future is bright and financially smart because of you. And so I just appreciate both of you, Marlette and Michael, coming out this evening and helping us facilitate this parent university. Again, we don't often take the time to really think about financial literacy and how it's going to impact the rest of our students' lives. It's and when as I sit here and I'm thinking more and more about it, it's something that has the power to truly impact the rest of their lives. And so the earlier we start having these conversations, the better. I love that we're thinking about how we can get into the other learning communities, especially when it comes to turning this information around with the third graders. I love that they are coming to you all and they are curious and they have great questions. And hey, if you are making money over there, Michael, please invite me because
Yeah, we got to break that stigma real quick. Everyone thinks I'm the printing press, but I love it.
but that's the curiosity in the mind of a third grader, right? I love it. So I love that they're thinking about it and they are curious and not afraid to ask those questions, that they think in their minds. And so that we learn a lot from students
Every day.
that age. All right. So we have enjoyed you again. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending the time. Parents, thank you for joining us this evening. And with that, we are going to go ahead and end tonight's Parent University. Thank you all.